Flack math! Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math!
Number 1. So this is test 19.
Test. It's not the test yet.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. So 1 through 10. So after 3 tests, Amanda's average score was 88. What score must she earn on the next test to have 4 tests average of 90? Sorry, that's hard to read. Hi. So the rest of the stuff is right here. We don't need this, but just this stuff. Is my tripod not in there? Did they not bring the tripod? Oh, good. Yeah, so the camera's right here, and we don't need this. So just these 2 bags, and we don't need this. Thank you, guys.
Mr. Flack?
Yes.
I think this is the actual test. Yeah.
Is it? Oops.
Is it?
Oh my goodness. Don't look.
I already know what 10 is. Number 10 is. I love these table thingies. I don't even know why I love them. I love them. What?
All right, 1 second. Thank you for pointing that out.
This is a pre-test.
This is the pre-test. Practice test. This is much easier to read, isn't it? Okay, so number 1, after 4 tests, the average was 83.
This is even worse than the last one.
So what must he get on the 5th test to get an average of 85? Okay, so this is very much like what we're dealing with today, because we've already taken 4 tests this semester. So let's say you got an 83, and if you want to average an 85, or if you want to raise your grade to a 90, then you can do this math as well. So if the average of 4 tests is 83, that means the sum of the 4 tests is 83 times 4, right? So if average of 4 tests, the sum is going to be 4 times 83. Okay, why do you need to know the sum? Because you want to be able to add 5 tests together and divide by 5 to get 85. So that's going to be 332 is the sum of the 4 tests. All right? The sum of the 4 tests is 332. So you want 332 plus this 5th test. And what do you need to equal? Well, 85 times 5. 85 times 5 is 425. So what do you have to add to 332 to get 425? What is that, 93? So you just subtract it.
Yeah, you get a 93.
So you need a 93 to raise that grade, okay? So you have to figure out the sum of the first. So we already know that it's going to be 3 tests and then 4 tests, right? So to figure out the sum of the 3 tests, just multiply the average times 3, right? Okay, and then to figure out the sum of the 4 tests, multiply the average times 4, and then subtract those 2 numbers to figure out what you need on the 4th test. Can you guys remember that? Okay, good. Number 2. Of the 25 students in the club, 10 were boys. What was the ratio of girls to boys in the club? Okay, so if you have a total, do you know girls to boys? And then total, do you know the answer?
Yes.
What is it?
The ratio of girls to boys is 2 to 3.
All right, let's see if you're right. So 25 students, so that's where the 25 goes. And the number of boys is 10. So what plus 10 is 25? 15, right? So then the ratio is going to be 15 to 10. Now, if you say 2 to 3, you're wrong.
Oh, 3 to 2.
Right, because you have to say it in the right order. If they say ratio of girls to boys, you have to say
I need boys to girls.
15 to 10, which is 3 to 2. Okay. Does that make sense, you guys?
I just flipped mine upside down.
You did flip it. I'd give you partial credit, but technically you got to be picky about the order you say it in. All right, ready? Number 3. If 5 boxes of cherries cost $31, how much will 8 boxes of cherries cost? This could be just a nice little fish problem. So 5, so you could do the same tic-tac-toe. 5 boxes cost $31. So how much does 8 boxes cost? Look at this. Fish method. Easy, right? Okay, if you're not going to pay attention, that's fine, but don't talk and be distracting. Even though you have a lovely voice. But shut up. Just
Wow.
all right. So what is that? 248 divided by 5. Let's see, 248. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm just doing the fish method. That goes in blah, 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 blah. So, sorry, I'll do this the long way, sir. Blah, 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 blah. Bring down a decimal and a 0. 49.6. What is that money language?
$49.60.
All right, good job. That's it. Any questions with that? So this is nice because you can just set it up like a proportion and use the fish method. Okay, good? All right. Number 4. Probability. How do you figure out probability? That's the number of favorable outcomes divided by the number of total outcomes. So flipping the heads on a coin is 1 out of the 2 total sides. So there's only 1 head on a 2-sided coin. Okay, but what's the probability of flip coin landing on head 5 times in a row? Well, when you do that, then it's just heads times heads times heads times heads. So this is 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. So 5 of those multiplied together. So you have to do each individual probability. Okay? Does that make sense? So when it's the same thing, that time it's going to be 1/32. So it's not like 1/2. To get 5 heads in a row, it's not just 50% chance anymore. It is 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. Can you guys remember that? Because flipping a coin 5 times gives you a total of 32 different combinations. You could get a heads, 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 heads. You could get a heads, 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 tails. You could get a heads, 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 tails, tails. You can get a heads, heads, tails, tails, tails. You can get any different order of that too. So there's 32 different possibilities. Okay? Number 5. Number 5, due to heavy rains, the cost of lettuce increased 25% in 1 month. But the cost after the increase was 75 cents per pound. What was the cost before the increase? This is one that I gave a free problem set to get. How do you figure this out? You know, Grady?
Tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe. That's what I would suggest. Okay? Because it's not 25% of 75 cents and then subtract it. Remember? No. It's 25% of what it was, but we don't know what it was. Right? So let's figure this out with the tic-tac-toe box. So remember, the old is always 100%. And then you're going to add 25%. So what's your final? 125%, right? 125%. What happened?
He's slapping his mask.
He what? He slapped his mask?
No, I saw me with his mouth.
Oh, okay. Okay, so where does the 75 cents go? Where does the 75 cents go?
New?
Grady?
The bottom right corner.
Yeah, new. Bottom right corner goes right here, 75 cents. So we want to know what it was before the increase. So now we need to know this. So guess what? Now we can ignore that. And here is our proportion. Right? So fish method. What happens? So that's 7,500 divided by 125. Let's see here. That goes in 6 times exactly. So it's going to be 60. So it was 60 cents before the increase. Now let's test it. What's 25% of 60? Well, that's 15 cents. So after a 15-cent increase, it's 75 cents. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So what percent of 150 is blah? So all we're going to do is translate this into math because word problems are dumb. All right. So how do you say what percent in math? Adeline?
P.
Let's just say P. How do you say of?
Multiplication.
Okay. How do you say 150?
150
How do you say is?
equals
Now you say 36.
36.
So if you show your work like a good little student, you will get partial credit for just that. If you just give me an answer, and for some reason if it's wrong, then you don't get credit for anything. Okay, so show your work, not because I don't think you know how to do it, but because it's math insurance. All right? You have a little backup plan just in case, because remember, when you take a test, you're always
Smarter.
dumber when you take a test.
What?
Okay? Have I not shared that wisdom with you? Okay. All right. So how do you get P by itself? Yeah. How do you solve for this equation? What's happening to that P?
It's being multiplied by 150.
Wow, that's a lot of P. Okay. So how do you get rid of the 150 that's being multiplied? You divide it.
Oh.
So if you divide
Oh,
one
I
side, you
divide
divide the other side. Don't forget to do that. Okay? This is solving an equation. So P equals, let's see, 36 divided by 150. So I need to add a decimal. That goes in 2 times. Bring down another 0. That goes in 4 times. Okay? So what is 0.24 as a percent?
24%.
24%. Move the decimal over 2 places and you're done. So what percent of 150 is 36? 24%. That makes sense, right? I feel okay?
Yeah.
It's addicting, isn't it? It's those. Okay. Let's do 4 more and call it a day. What do you say? Hey? Hey, hey.
You sounded so sad.
Because I only get to do 4 more problems. Very sad.
Can we go play at the park after?
What?
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah, outside in this weather. Mr. McCoy made us play kickball. Yeah, it was very cool.
Sorry.
Let's play Hangman after.
Number 7. Here we go. Use 2 multipliers. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
So, square centimeters. How do you get from centimeters to millimeters? How many millimeters are in a centimeter?
100.
No, that's how many centimeters are in a meter. But how many millimeters are in a centimeter? 10. So, let's see. Unit multipliers, remember we put the labels diagonal from each other. So this needs to be, so 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters, right? So far, so good? But that only cancels one of those centimeters. Because this is centimeters, right? So we need another one of these. Times another 10 millimeters over a centimeter. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay, final answer. Multiply by 10, just keep adding zeros. So that's 1,000 plus 2 more zeros. So 100,000 millimeters, or square millimeters. Okay? Now, if you mess this up, which some of you will, just statistically, you will forget to multiply by 2 of these. So when you are converting an area, everything is doubled. Remember when I asked you 2 square feet is how many square inches? 2 square feet is how many square inches?
Confessed with all of our brains.
That's how many square?
Yeah, how many square inches are in 2 square feet?
I could use it.
That's what you said before I showed you the light.
144?
So that's in 1 square foot. So
288.
288 square inches. Because remember, a square foot, like a tile, it's 12 inches by 12 inches. So that's 12 times 12, which is 144 square inches in 1 square tile. So 2 square feet is 288. Okay, good. Number 8. Number 8 says if m equals -7, what is happening? There's some aggressive math happening. And n equals -6m. Well, m is -7. Okay, so all I did was plug in -7 for m in that second sentence, right? What's -6 times -7?
Wait, I have to think. Oh,
What is it?
-42.
Not negative.
Positive.
Positive.
Right. Remember, a negative times a negative
It's positive.
gives you a positive, but when you add 2 negatives, it stays negative. So this is positive 42 plus another 2. Answer 44.
Wait,
That
can I correct you on a mistake? It should be R equals 44, not just 44.
Is it R?
It's N.
N.
Whatever it is.
No, it's
Well,
N.
N
N equals
equals
44.
44. Well, I kind of did that, but I mean, I should just spell it out. You're right. Okay, number 9.
Oh my gosh, that rectangular prism, I only see the top of.
That's so weird. Ooh, and it's a triangular prism.
Oh, it says rectangular.
Right rectangular prism. Ooh, that's a typo. It is not a rectangular prism. It is a triangular prism.
Oh.
Okay? So now if I were to stand this upright, it would look like this.
Figured it out. Wait, I have to think about it.
So this is probably a better way to write it, I think, because then it is the area of the base times the height, because the volume of a prism is the area of the base. Now, the base doesn't necessarily mean it's on the bottom. It means it's whatever shape is repeated. So see how that triangle is the same shape all the way back. Do you have an answer? What do you got?
No, I just have a comment.
All right, what's
That
the comment?
triangle that you made is not right.
Ouch. Well, it might be turned around a little bit, but it's kind of, I mean,
Approximately. Sort of.
okay.
Wait.
So how do you find the area of that triangle?
You put the wrong dimensions.
Lady?
It's 10.
You're gonna multiply.
Is it-
You're gonna find one of the triangles. So multiply 6 times 10.
Okay, well, 6 times 10.
It's
60.
60
Then
divided.
divide by 2.
Okay, don't forget to divide by 2. So area of base, the base in this case is a triangle, so 1/2 base times height. But then times the height of the prism,
Oh.
which is 6. It goes 6 units back or 6 units up, depending on if you flip it or not. Okay, so that's 6 times 10, which is 60, times another 6. So then you get 180.
I was gonna say that.
Oh, you got it. Sorry. 180 cubic centimeters, right? Volume is measured in cubes. So cubic centimeters. All right, you guys ready for one more?
Yes.
One more, and then we will break for the day and finish up on Thursday. Number 10. So this is two-part. The price of a ski jacket was $85. The tax rate was 6%. How do you figure out the final price? Well, it's going to break it up into two problems. How do you figure out the tax on $85? How do you figure out the tax?
No, all I know is I don't.
Grace?
You do 85 times 0.06.
Right. So that gives you how much money you have to pay for tax.
And you have to add it on to 85.
All right. So A just asked you for the tax. So this is just finding 6% of 85. Okay. So that's $5.10. Right? Okay. So the total price is going to be added to 85.
86.
So then you get $90.10. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. That's it.
Black math. Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Black math.